Hello, it's Elaina Strongbow from SodaTutorials.com, Elena's main game name, and tonight I actually want to talk a little bit about exchanges. Pop into the game here. Exchange is basically the concept where you are a middleman. You are buying resources and items from people and then reselling them. Of course, in the middle, the hope is to buy them for this much, mark it up a little bit, and then sell it for that much. So you're basically taking a profit off there. Now, it's not that I hesitate. When I first saw exchanges, I thought maybe that they're a little bit shady. You're basically taking money off of people. What really comes down to is that you're in a position. You need to be in a position where you have money, so you have some significant portion of money that you can work with. And what you're doing is you're providing a service to two actually separate markets. One is the market of people who have materials and need to get rid of them for money. Maybe they need money to go buy something, whatever it is. Newer characters don't have a good location, don't have a good vendor, don't want to go put on a public vendor because there's taxes on it. So they're looking for a fair price to sell that. So looking for exchanges to actually go to sell their items. That's one aspect. So you're doing that portion of the community of service. The second part is the other portion of the community that's looking to buy it. And they're looking to buy it, and it's not something that maybe that they don't want to go out in the world and to go and directly mine and get stuff and get their own resources. Why would they want to do that? Well, maybe that, they're really a fighter. They do crafting to make their stuff, and they're just not really a miner, and they don't want to go out there and do that. They don't want to go out and craft their own stuff. They just want to be able to, or to be able to gather stuff. They just want to get stuff and do it quickly. Maybe it's because they're raising up a skill, that they're masterworking something. They need a boatload of ingots. Like if you're masterworking anything, you need lots of silver, lots of silver. And it takes a while to go out and gather 100 ore, which is going to give you, when you smelt it all down, it's going to give you 25 ingots, which is in the end is going to allow you to masterwork 5 times. That's it. 100 ore, let's just say, it takes you about an hour to get. And you go out there and have to spend an hour to get enough materials to actually master it 5 times. You can't really raise your skill quickly, and they're wanting to do it faster. So exchanges make a great spot. They go to and say, I'm willing to pay a premium for that. I want to buy 1,000 or 5,000 or groups of 100, or, and I want to do it quickly. So that's a value add to them. So the person in the middle that's really doing this is actually trying to satisfy and add value into two different communities, which is good. I mean, they're helping two different aspects of the game. Now, I mentioned beginning that you need to have some money, and to put that on a point and explain why, I'm going to open up this vendor. This is actually my exchange vendor. This is the vendor that I have that actually buys stuff. So if I look at it, they're selling a bunch of stuff, but if I look on the sell tab, there's everything from beetles to copper to gold to iron to leather, nickel, pine, silver, sweat, tin, tungsten, and there should be some more stuff on here. All of this stuff that you see in here, when you see iron ore for 4,400 or silver you see for 5,500, that's money that I'm willing to pay for those increments to people for that material. In order to put those out there, I actually have to put the money up front. So if I look at it right now, I have it actually on a spreadsheet, which I'll bring up here in a second. I have buying somewhere around 142,000 in gold committed to the vendor to buy materials. That's a lot of money to tie up. I mean, not many of us have a. If you do, hey, that's up to you. I have nearly 150,000 gold that's actually on this vendor to buy these organs that I'm willing to give to players. On the other hand, I have a different vendor in another town, in Owl's Head specifically, that sells it. Some people keep them on the same vendor. I separate the two. Two aspects of it. One, I don't like the concept of actually selling something to someone and then them saying, okay, yeah, but you're turning around, you're making money on it. It just never feels right to me. The second thing is I'm in a POT where I have lots of traffic for this, and I want to buy things from a lot of guild mates, a lot of local residents. I want to give them, the newer players, the ability to make some money off of their materials while I go and sell it in Owl's Head, which demands a little bit more of a premium price. I can buy it for a little bit more, but Owl's Head, you can sell for a little bit more. Now, I don't go out there and raid people because they're an Owl's Head. I look at what the prices are on the vendors over there, what the prices are on the Britannia mining companies exchange. I look at the public vendors, and I always come in below that. I just do. So I'm trying to give people who are selling me stuff the most gold I can, and I'm trying to sell it for the best price possible and operate really in a very small, narrow margin in there. There's a tolerance of what people will be, do. I can't buy 100, 100 silver for 1,500 and say, I'm going to sell it for 10,000 and double my money. People know that gold, silver at this point in time sells for about 6,000 per 100. So there's a 500 little margin in there. And that's where I operate in. But this is the whole concept. You invest a lot of money on a vendor, you put a lot of buy orders. As you get these orders, people buy them, you put them over either on that vendor or on another vendor to sell. Now, this is a lot of tracking to do that. And part of it, I want to kind of explain some of the tracking I'm going to do on that. So I'm actually going to have to finagle the screen here a little bit. I want to show you something here. Let me see if I can get this up right here. There it is. I don't know. Let me see if I can. This is going to look really wonky for a second, which is fine. I want to kind of blow this up. It's going to get all zoomy. Let me get this out of here. You're actually looking at my stream stuff there. Hopefully you can see this on here. This is basically a spreadsheet that I have that I track stuff. So what I've got over here is everything that I'm buying at this point. And I've got sometimes double hits because I list them out in what quantities I'm buying or selling them. So animal hides in quantity of 100 or 500. Beetle carapace, right now I just do it 5. Copper, I buy typically in 50 or 100, but I sell only in 100. Dragon haunches, kodos, you can go down the list to see this. So this is the items that I'm buying, and these buying or selling. This is the quantity that I buy or sell it. Over here is the magic. This is where I talk about the prices, and I use them in the formulas to keep track of where I'm at. So what my buy price is and what my sell price. You can tell for animal hide, I don't have a lot of margin on, 100 hides. It's between 900 and 1,000. I have a little bit more on 500 just because of the quantity that's in there. Beetles, I notice that people are selling for about 2,400. So here's one place where I'm buying it for 1,800, which is still pretty good, and I'm selling it only for 2,100. So I don't go and try and rape on that side of the market. So you can go down to the list. Says silver is one main one. I probably I buy silver more than other people do. I see people buying it around 5,000. I pay 5,500, and I know that it sells for about 6,000, and that's a good market value on that. So I try to give, in this instance, I'm giving people, this is something it's a lot of traffic on this. I'm giving them more money for the materials than, let's say, on some of the other ones. And it goes down the list here. So this is all sets up in my spreadsheet, sets up what I'm buying and selling, the quantities I buy and sell it in, my buy price, my sell price. But later on, if I adjust something, I can come in here and just adjust one of these in this column, and that goes forward. Then I actually have some other things. So there are 3 different places that I have these items. One is, and I'm going to skip over these 2 columns, is I'm buying. So on my vendor here. So right now I have 4 buy orders for Beetle Carapace, which is fine. So I buy 4 of them, and it calculates over here my buyer. I have 7,200 gold committed for those buy orders. I'm buying 2 copper ores at a total of 900 or 9,000. So when I go and I put in buy orders, I add those numbers in here. So this matches everything I'm buying at the moment. And this is a calculation that says, okay, if you're buying this many, your buy price is this is your buying value. These are my selling. So when I actually get something for someone, I go and place it on a vendor, I put it in the sell column. So things that eventually at one point there were 3 animal hides here that someone sold to me. Now I put them over in the selling vendor. And the pricing changed because it's now this quantity times the sell price. So it updates the value of all my materials and cash that I have on hand. Now, I don't run to the sell vendor every time. So sometimes people sell me a bunch of stuff and then I'll put it in my bag. I literally have a bag in the bank that's called exchange. And these are items that are sitting in my bank. So they're right in limbo between buying and selling. I've already bought them, so I paid whatever the price is for them, but I will eventually be going to selling. So their value is at the sell price, even though they're not on the selling vendor. So it's basically this number times this number equals that. And so I track all that. So basically I get all this big spreadsheet that talks about everything where everything's at and how long, how much it's at based upon the buy and sell values. And then I actually go down and say, okay, this is my total buy. This is how much I have committed on my buy orders. This is how much I have committed on my sell orders. I have literally in my bank, and I'll show that in a second. On my vendor, I have a way to separate my. I don't want to mix my personal money versus the exchange money, so I have a way to do that. So there's actually a cash reserve I have that's 146,775. That's kind of open money capital. So when people buy things from me, I have some capital to go put some money back in to put more buy orders. Now the hope is as I buy, I'm selling, and that's filling in the capital as well. But it doesn't happen right away. Sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's 2 weeks. So you got to have some money to operate on it. So I have cash reserves. I have 146,000 right now today at this point. The in-bank value, that's actually what the value of the stuff that's in my bank. So this is actually my in-bank value is there, my cash reserves is there, my total value is basically all my buy orders, all my selling stuff, my cash reserves, my in-bank value. That's how much. So right now I've got 500,675 gold in my marketplace. Now I did have some initial seed money. I put in 400,000 of my own gold and put it in there. So that's my seed money that's in this. Anything that's above that is my profit. Anything below that is, I'm underwater. So you can tell right now I've got, if I'm at 500,675 and I put in 400,000, I'm at a profit level of 100,675. So this is literally how I track it. And I literally, as people buy stuff, sell stuff, I just keep updating this spreadsheet. This is a PDF version of the spreadsheet, but I have a spreadsheet over there. I just kind of manipulate this. It is very important to do this. It is so easy to lose track of how much stuff you have where, how much money. You don't know whether, okay, I don't know how much maple wood I had. Should I put more buy orders, or am I overstocked on that? And should I adjust the numbers? You've got, if you're going to operate exchange, you got to actually keep this type of records. It's a business. You need to keep the cash separate. So I'm going to drop this for right now, and I want to show something. Now, one of the hardest things is keeping your money separate from your personal money versus separate from your exchange money. So I'm going to close this out real quick, and I'm going to look at this and go here. Oops, that's my that. 16,710. So right now I'm looking at that. I've got some extra money in my pocket that came from the sales of these two items. So I need to transfer that out of my personal money and into the exchange money. How do you do that? There's no way to separate gold. You can't touch your gold like in UO, take 1,000, put over in the bank. You can't do that. So the way I figured out how to do this is actually on my exchange vendor itself. If I look at if I manage my orders on here, these are all the things that I'm selling. We've got a castle deed here. That is actually, I'm looking to buy a castle deed for 126,975. Very unique. First thing, if someone came and sold me a castle deed for 126,975, hooray me, that's awesome. They're not going to do that. No one's going to sell you a castle deed for that. So it's a crazy item on my sell order, but the important thing is it takes the money out of my inventory and puts it there. Right now I just made some sales, and I need to change the value of that money. My cash reserve actually should be, I look at that, should be a little bit more than that. It actually should be, I sold iron 49. I need to sell that for 9,800. I have $9,800, 98 in here. That should be over here. So I'm actually going to take this out and add that to that. So I just got to get the price here. 126,975 plus 9,600 equals 136,575. So I'm going to take this back. I get all this money here, and then I'm actually going to buy it back, or put a place order or sell order for it back in my thing for 136,575. Now what I've done there is I've effectively put that on there and taken the money out of my inventory. So now as I'm out spending things, buying things, I can never intermingle that money unless I do that, or whatever else. So that's good. So that's how I actually separate my exchange funds from my personal funds. I think it's a great thing. I said, reality, someone could come sell you a castle deed. Technically, they can come in and sell through for 136,575. Who cares? If someone sold me a castle deed for that, it's worth millions. As I said, hooray me. So that's the concept of doing this. And I said, you operate between the buy price and the sell price. You know, it's a concept buy low, sell high. I don't, I don't like using that. I said buy fairly, sell fairly. And if it's an item that has enough margin to operate in, you can do that. Now, some things I make more money on than others. I've got a 500 spread on this. So I have to look at that. It's not just like make 500, make 500 gold each one of these. I have to outlay 5,500 gold, wait, take the risk. Maybe the market changes a little bit, whatever else, however long it takes, and then it's got to come back and bring back 500. You know, if I average how long it takes to do something, how much profit, some of these are better for me than not. Some of it is not just better for me; it's better for players. So maybe something I don't make a lot of money on, but a lot of people want to sell them and buy, you know, buy them and sell them. So I put them out there, even though I have to operate with low margins on it. As far as I'm concerned, as long as I'm making money on it, then I'm happy. The other thing that I do is it helps me personally. So sometimes, I mean, I've got 7,000 gold. Now I think recently I bought a Ring of the Gambler. It was 7,000. I didn't have 7,000 on this. Like, oh crap! I want that ring. So I went and mined. I made five. I got 100 gold, and I came here and gave the gold to my exchange, and took the cash. So I was actually my own buyer to my exchange. My exchange really operates separate from my character. So I gave the exchange 100 gold. The gold, then the exchange gave me back. What's gold at? It is at 47.50. Along with what I had enough to buy my ring, and I was all happy. So I literally use it to my advantage here. I've got money tied up on this exchange, but I can also use this exchange to make money for my character. If I, you know, if I go, I said, if I go in and get a bunch of ore, get a bunch of beetles or sweat, tin, whatever it is, I have no problem giving the exchange those materials and taking the cash out of it. Because at that point, I'm just like a seller. I'm selling materials, and then I'll go make some. You know, here's the kicker. I I give the exchange 100 gold. I get 47.50. I then take the gold. I put it over my selling vendor, and it sells for 53, you know, 5,300, 5,400. I think 5,400. That's 650 profit. So not only do I get some exchange for myself of money to play with, I still get the profit because eventually I will sell that as well. It's great, you know, as my own little personal kind of asset, as long as I'm not dipping into my funds and taking things out for any reason. Now I've made some profit here. I've got something up I'm going to buy here soon that I'm going to need to take some profits. I really, the purpose of exchange is to make money and to give myself profits. And hopefully, as I keep the exchange going, I just, you know, if it makes profits, great, just tuck the money away. But if there's something I really want or really need, then I own the exchange. I can take the profits out. I prefer to actually just keep putting assets into it. So I've got something coming up that's probably about, I don't know, I'm guessing about 30 to 40,000 it's going to cost me. So I've got to go out and do some, I have to do some mining and keep selling some gold to my exchange and whatnot and do it that way. So that's this whole concept of exchange. I touched on it on a previous video about pricing stuff, and you can go to, there's a video on pricing. You can go look at how I came to these pricing. But I just want to talk about the mechanics and what has worked for me. Now I knew the concept, you know, people bought stuff, people sold stuff, but I really worked out the whole spreadsheet thing on how I could, you know, keep track and manage it. And actually know, am I making money? Because I've had this exchange operating now for like a month, maybe 5 weeks. And if someone said, well, you've got a bunch of stuff, did you make any money on it? I can actually say, yes, absolutely, I made money. I put in 400,000, and right now in inventory and in cash reserves and in buy orders, I've cleared, you know, 100,000 gold. That's 100,000 I didn't have before. So, and I'm satisfying most parts of the market. So if you're in a position to do it, great. You know, then maybe hopefully this will help you in kind of organize your thoughts in doing that. If you are selling stuff and buying, you're trying to figure out how these people are doing it. Well, I mean, just understand a lot of people would go out and do, they will seed, they have to seed the exchange. You can't just say, I'm buying something and have nothing, no buy orders in there. They will either go and buy a bunch of a material, like 1,000 silver, and then start doing sales on it. Or they will buy, you know, get a bunch of gold, they'll raise a bunch of money, and then start doing this. I just always looked at it and said, I've put, you know, I put 400,000 gold into the exchange so it can operate. And basically, you think it in thirds. I'm buying, I'm selling, and I have cash reserves. And I keep those three kind of going, and eventually profits cycle off of that. So, well, there's there. One of the guys in the stream. I'll talk to him in a second. Actually, let me pop him to him. Uh, finishing video. Give me a sec. So he popped out. So anyway, so that's it. So that's how it works. And I said it's not complicated, but you do have to be organized and really separate the business part of it from the personal part of it, and just operate it and try to give people fair prices, fair on what you're going to pay them for stuff, and fair on what you're going to sell them. And it'll just work. I said you're filling in a niche that's actually from two different aspects of the market. One word of note: if you get overloaded on stuff, like right now, I'm overloaded on Maplewood. I'm overloaded on it because it's not being bought, so it's not being sold. So I've got a lot in, it's not being sold. That's telling me that I have my pricings are messed up. If people are selling me a lot and it's not selling, or people are giving me a lot and I'm not selling it, my numbers are off. So I have to go investigate that. So I don't have any buy orders right now for Maplewood. I have over inventory. I can adjust that. I always want more silver and gold, so I put a lot more on there. I put items that I want a couple. I just put some in there and I just keep adding them in. But that's it. I said, you got questions? You can ask me on the video, or comment on the video. You can ask me a game. It's Elaina Strongbow. Please put a thumbs up or thumbs down in the video if you're finding it useful. At the end here, you're going to see popped up. It's my previous video in the stream. Below that, it's going to see a link to the sotatutorials.com website, what I'm up to, what I will be doing, keep it up and going. And to the right of that is a picture of me in the fairy wings. That's where you can actually click on that, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Please do so if you're finding the content interesting and useful and all that kind of good stuff. Thanks. Take care. Have a good one.